All right, Connor, well, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a junior at UAB. I've been working with Lifetime Fitness for 4 years. I've worked in their Kids Academy department, I worked in their Members Services department, and I was a member of the retention team while I worked in the customer service department, which means that when members wish to cancel their membership, I was one of the trained and qualified workers who would try to find a solution to keep them at the gym. And while I was there, my retention rate was 58%. And when I'm not at work, I am studying medical industrial distribution at the Callander School of Business, and I plan on graduating in December of 2018. And kind of an extracurricular activity that I've been working on is me and a group of students are working towards getting a social fraternity to come on campus. So that's been about a year-long process, and we're in the final stages of that, and I'm actually one of the founders and presidents of that fraternity.
Awesome. Well, what do you think your three biggest strengths are?
Three big strengths, I'd say I'm a very patient person, which I think is important in sales.
Okay.
Because you got to be able to wait it out and be persistent with somebody and not get too rushed. I believe my work ethic is very well. I don't mind staying late, getting there early, putting in extra hours to get the job done. And I would say that my last strength is my ability to see the big picture. I don't always get caught up in details. Like, I never lose sight of the goal, and I feel like that's really important because you got to be able to meet your goal and not get caught up in the little stuff that keeps you from getting to your goal.
Absolutely. So why do you want to be in sales?
I'd say I want to be in sales because I love working with people. When I was part of the member services department, I got a lot of relationships with the members, and I think it's really exciting to be part of a group that helps bring solutions to people.
Awesome. Do you have any questions for me?
My main question for you is how much, I understand there's some travel associated with the job, but how much of that would be overnight travel?
Okay, so with the associate sales rep position, you'd be with a sales rep who has between 2 and 3 different cities that they cover. So I would say 30 to 40% is overnight travel. So maybe 2 days a week is probably a decent amount of overnight travel that you would see. But most of it's going to be, pretty close by traveling. Is that the only question you have?
Yeah, that's the only question I have for you. I think everything else has been answered so far.
So what's your biggest weakness that you think you have that needs work? And if so, what are you doing to work on it?
I'd say my biggest weakness, and especially in a sales type position, I believe this is the weakness that I can work on, is sometimes like when I get to a roadblock, I get a little discouraged. So like when I'm selling, like if their write-up is a no, then I kind of like stumble on it and just kind of, I've been working on trying to find ways to like get past the roadblock without being too pushy or persistent with it. That's definitely something that I've been working on and reading sales books about it, just trying to find other ways that people overcome the initial no.
Sure. That's great. Do you want to pause it?
Yeah, we can just flip it around. All right, Will, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name's Will Callander. I'm a senior here at UAB studying medical supplies and equipment distribution with concentration in professional selling. Not your typical college student. I'm 28, but from 21 to 26, I grew a business from $300K a year in revenue to almost $5 million a year in revenue. So when I decided to go back to school full time when I was 26, I relinquished my management duties. However, I still work for that company 30 hours a week. So I've been a full-time student while working 30 hours a week and have maintained a 3.8 GPA while doing all those things. So I'm very proud of my accomplishments here at UAB. I've done received some scholarships and some different awards from the school, and so I'm proud of everything that I've been able to do.
That's awesome. Tell me about a time that you overcame an obstacle and the steps you took to overcome that.
Sure. So here at UAB, most of our classes have a significant amount of group work, and the biggest thing here is, with it being a commuter school, most of the students are working at least part-time. So just trying to find that a balance of schedule where we can, all meet to work on projects or whatever it is that we need to do is one of the most difficult parts. But also everybody's worked in groups where you have somebody that's a slacker that's not wanting to pull their weight. So me being the older person here and maybe a little bit more mature than most, one instance, for example, a student in one of my groups wasn't, responding to our text messages or emails or any kind of communication that we were sending out. So I had to take them aside and kind of coach them a little bit, and it's not that they didn't want to be a part of it. They were just dealing with their own stuff at home, and I found that that's most likely the case that's going on. Somebody's dealing with there's no telling what somebody's dealing with at home. So I've done this a couple of times where I'll take them to get some coffee or something and try to coach them a little bit to bring them around, because when you graduate here, you're most likely going to be working in teams, and if you don't learn how to do it here, then you're probably going to continue to be a slacker there, and you're just not going to do well. So me being an empathetic person, I kind of care to go out of my way to help them get on track a little bit.
All right, that's great. What would you say your greatest achievement is so far?
The greatest achievement, again, working 30 hours a week while being in school full time. I received the GE Endowed Scholarship last year, which goes to like the top 2 students in the distribution program. So that's probably my greatest achievement, was getting that scholarship.
That's awesome. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, what's the training process like? How long is it?
Right, as an associate sales rep, you will be working with one of our main sales representatives, and you'll be shadowing him, working with him and all his clients for 2 years. And then after 2 years, we kind of do an evaluation process, and if we feel like you're ready to have your own territory, we can either relocate you in another city, or if there's an opening in Birmingham here, we would see if that's something you would be interested in.
Perfect, that sounds great.
And one last question I have for you. As you know, we're an international company,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just wondering if you would ever be open to relocating internationally, somewhere in Europe or maybe South America, if that would ever interest you at all.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to traveling and relocating.